What's up, Sand Shark family? This is Brackin Lambert alongside my co-host Max Arraj and Wes Kerr. After another fulfilling weekend of Sand Shark athletics, fellas, how's it going?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, doing good, man.
Yep, another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. We're closing down to the end. Last couple of weeks here, and we'll probably see how we do for the off season and pick and choose when we do a couple of recaps throughout the year. Obviously, when we get a new soccer coach, we'll be talking that, and anything big and significant, we'll do an episode. But an eventful weekend down at Shark Park with USCB softball. Wes, you and I were there yesterday for probably one of the most fun, exciting comeback wins we've probably seen there. And then you guys were both on the call for today as we honored our trio of seniors, the class of 2024. So, Wes, give me a little bit of recap of what you let's talk a little bit about yesterday before we
absolutely crazy comeback, 6-0 in favor of Columbus State, hitting to the bottom of the sixth. And this one looked like it was wrapped up, but USCB with an absolutely crazy comeback, 5 runs, aided by a couple of key hits, including Cassie Brundage, who came in as a pinch hitter and able to get on base, and then took advantage of a couple Columbus State errors to claw back. We got within 6-5, and then some great work by Sierra Kinlaw to keep it right there heading to the 7th. And then it was Darren Miller who helped set it up with a rocket triple to the right center gap and used that blazing speed to get all the way to third to set up the sac fly back to the top of the lineup for Jaden Goodwin. And then we saw J.C. Coleman find a way to get on to set up the incredible walk-off 2-run blast by Devin Weller. Both seniors scoring the 2 winning runs in the 8-6 victory. Absolutely incredible comeback effort by this group, and all the credit to Sierra Kinlaw for how she handled herself after giving up that 5-run second inning and just allowed 1 run the rest of the way, stayed composed, picked up some key outs. The defense played well behind her in that game, and this team just really found that extra gear when it mattered and took advantage of some mistakes from the opposition to get the job done. And that's a really memorable victory, one that you can take with you and prove that you can hang with anybody and have that capability to come back. And that's kind of what you need at this point of the season, is that will to, find that extra gear in yourself and get some quality at bats and come back to win a ball game. And not just that, but a 6-0 deficit, which is just amazing rally by this team, and just great to see it happen to Devin Weller, one of those 3 seniors that we honored today. And we talked all about her and what she has meant to this program, and to see her come up clutch like she has done so many times, but in a walk-off home run in her very last regular season home conference series is really special. And then J.C. Coleman helps it up as well, and was always so consistent in right field. And then second game didn't go our way. We let that one slip early, 12 unanswered to start the game for an angry team that in Columbus State that certainly wanted to make a statement after they let that one slip away. But good for the Sand Sharks to hang in it, and Devin Weller with another home run, or second of that series. And then we finished it off today in what was a very memorable, even though it was a 4-0 loss on the scoreboard, just a really great day of softball and a great game. Despite the scoreline, I thought USCB played really, really well today. Hit the ball well, made good contact, just couldn't find the holes, and a ton of flyouts in this game for USCB. So we'll let Max talk more about his thoughts, but a really well-played game despite the unfortunate scoreline. Really enjoyed what I got to see to really put a bow on these 3 seniors. Of course, they played another doubleheader next week against Coker, but this is it for conference play. So
let's backtrack before Max, not going to keep you off too long, but let's talk a little bit, that comeback. We can kind of talk about memorable comebacks I think JJ can probably remember the first walk-off home run because that picture was pretty epic.
Yeah.
I still remember it. It's still in the files. When we walked off Warner, it was our first conference series, and it was a walk-off grand slam. So that's one that you kind of that you stick in the back of your mind when that was 13 years ago. But this one with Devin definitely is going to be one that kind of is a staple. Definitely an April top 5 play. Haven't forgotten about the March top 5 plays. It's just been a little hectic.
Oh, we've got some good ones there too.
For
good luck choosing those top 5 because there's
Well, we've got a few to go through, but yeah, I mean Kinlaw definitely settled in after that rough second inning, and she's been the workhorse all year long, and she was the workhorse last year.
Yep,
and just an absolute a dog out there. When that stuff rattles her, I've only seen one time where she's gotten rattled, and that was against UVA Wise. That was the only time in 2 years that I've seen her get rattled, and not make it out of the first inning. But after that, she was just lights out. Allowed a single run there, I believe it was in the fifth or sixth or whatever it was. But I mean, we came back and stormed and made it a 5-run game or a 1-run game. And Darren Miller, holy smokes, that triple in the 7th, that set it up for Jaden, or in the 6th or whatever it was, to tie the game.
And that was with 1 out. I mean, 1 out in the inning, and she was able to crank when that was. I mean, that just shows what she could do. I mean, the speed was there, but the power and the way she swung it. And
that was a power slap. And
I didn't know she had that power in her right there. That was impressive.
I mean, I blinked and she was on third base.
Yeah.
I mean, she was rounding second before the ball stopped rolling. And and then Jaden Goodwin with the sac fly that allowed her to score with ease. There was no chance. That was softball. You can kind of, it's not guaranteed, but 60 feet is a whole lot shorter than 90 feet for that throw down from the outfield. So
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, in game 2, that one was tough. Columbus State's one of the top teams in the conference. They've been up there all season long, and their bats were alive in game 1. Madison McDonald had a terrific weekend for the Cougars. She just was, So I believe JJ's got our walk-off homer here. Yep, here we go. Oh man, just right off the. I mean, you knew.
Wow. And you knew it. I knew it when it was. I knew when it was hit that.
Yeah,
she got it.
Holy cow!
Is it Tamaya? I think it's Tamaya who maybe. Yep, there it is. The beware of flying objects. that is probably my favorite sign in celebration. Yeah, we got a picture of it. Ashton was our photographer yesterday, and she got some terrific pictures of the celebration. So
nice.
There's your shout out, Ashton, for the night. Wonder if she's the one that says Facebook. I think that's the Facebook user, because I think she's got to do it somewhere else. So
yeah, that's good.
Give the thumbs up, and it's going to pop up on the screen. There it is.
Great work, Ashton.
Hey.
Yep. I'm telling you guys got to get the update. But game 3 today. Kinlaw was brilliant.
11 strikeouts.
I don't care what the line score says. I don't care if she gave up 4 runs. 11 strikeouts over 7 innings, and just being an absolute. I mean, she was the ace. Yes, I mean, she's been the ace all season, but that's an ace performance. That's bettering a strikeout per inning, and she was just lights out.
Dialed in, and that's against a good team too.
That lineup did not change.
Yeah.
So Max, let's get your thoughts on today's game.
Yeah, that score doesn't do enough justice for how USCB played today. I mean, like Wes said, they put the bat to the ball, but they just could not find, base runners. They couldn't find the gaps at all. I wouldn't say it was frustrating. It was encouraging to see them make contact with the ball so well. It was just, I guess, the frustrating part was the fact that they couldn't get on base after making contact with the ball. It was encouraging and frustrating at the same time. I guess we can put it that way. But Sierra Kinlaw, forget the four runs. Sierra Kinlaw pitched a dominant game. That may have been one of the best games I've seen her pitch this season. She just was unreal at the Circle today. I was super impressed with her. Forget the 2 homers she gave up. I was impressed, extremely impressed. Like you said, 11 strikeouts on the day. Just a phenomenal job at the Circle by Sierra Kinlaw. And that's what, we said before the game started, me and Wes said, that's what we needed to see out of her. Have a dominant game from the Circle. And she did. Despite the score, she had a dominant game. And that's what we wanted to see out of her.
Yeah. That's what we're used to seeing. Maybe not 11 strikeouts, but she's better. No. You could probably average a strikeout per inning for her. There might be an inning or two where she doesn't get one, but then she's going to strike out 2 or strike out the side over the next, inning or so. But I think if we look at the standings, it's going to take.
They probably need to win out.
I think it's mathematically that we're eliminated. Just by where we at, where we had to play the top teams tough up at the beginning, and we can talk about it all day long. Hold on, I'm checking everything. Everybody's
and I said as I said in the broadcast, that was a must win. When you just look at the scope.
Well, that first game, you look at it, but it was
actually they might be mathematically eliminated now because they're 3 games behind Georgia Southwestern GSW as the head-to-head. So that might do it.
Yeah, the standings are all kind of messed up on the Peach Belt because it does say that we had 2 losses yesterday, so it looks like we got swept in the. So I got to email the conference and get that fixed. But I do think, unfortunately, the Sand Sharks are going to be mathematically eliminated. But you can play spoiler and you can go out there, and you don't have to. You got Georgia College, I believe, is our last weekend series, and you can put them in a position where they're going to finish either 7th or 8th, depending on where it is. You go out there and sweep them and have a good series, cool. Go out there and just and play best.
Have fun out there.
So, gotta. Thanks, Lowco.
So technically, right now they're technically like with what Justin just put up there. Technically, they're not out yet, but it's pretty, you would need to sweep. You would need to sweep, and you'd have to have Georgia.
Even if they sweep, though, I believe they would be tied.
2 games.
Southwestern, they would have, unless we have like a, because they couldn't catch any of the other guys. So that's that.
It's going to be. It's an epic season. It's going to be great. Great next year, especially because you'll have to replace Devin and JC in the outfield, but you got great players there. You've got Jaden Goodwin, who can fill in at shortstop fairly easily. Saria Simmons, who you tab her in the outfield. She's a power slapper. She can play right or left. She got a lot of time in both. And then Zanaya Hamilton, hate that her senior year was cut short due to injury, but it was great to see her out on the field today. That was awesome.
That was fantastic.
In the outfield, you thought there for a second that after Devin got the ground ball and JC got the fly ball, you thought maybe there was a chance that get that third.
That
would have been cool.
Last out and left. But, still overall a great weekend. Those 3 left their mark and helped make the transition from NAIA to D2. And here's the best part: they're 4-year letter winners. They are. 4 of them have been here since the day they were obviously recruited by Bailey and inherited by Cody. But the impact those 3 made is going to be sorely missed after this season's over. So again, congratulations to those three, and they're going to be great alum. They're going to be absolutely terrific, and I can't wait to see them back next year and the years that follow. So, but let's move across to the other side of the diamond. And man, baseball did what baseball needed to do and picked up a sweep over Claflin. We talked about it a little bit last week. If any time to play Claflin, this was it. USC Aiken didn't help us out at all by taking 2 of 3 from Augusta. So it's going to be a little bit tough. Lander is now taking over the lead. Georgia Southwestern or Georgia College has kind of petered out a little bit, losing the last 3. Lander's won. Shoot, man, they've won 10 straight games. They're slowly making their way up. So we're still a full game back behind Aiken, and it's really going to come down to, they're going to play North Georgia, but Aiken's starting to play good ball. North Georgia's playing good ball, so it's going to be an epic showdown for them. We're probably going to be scoreboard watching, but we've got to take care of business against Flagler and just take it one game at a time. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's talk about this weekend. And started off with a big 10-2 victory. Cam Demigian, 5 1/3, pitched great, and bullpen shut down, man. Brayton Wilmus was able to shut down and get those final 2 innings. And the bat stayed hot, man. Hunter Miller, Aiden Driscoll-Sadusky, able to really put together a good game. So, hi, Sabrina. Yes, Aiken. My other little family over there, who's AJ, is at Aiken. We can talk about that trader later. But I mean, look at that. You got Hunter Miller, Aiden, Julian, Carson with some RBIs. So that's a big first win in that series. I mean, you look at Claflin; they were 1-36, 0-19 in Peach Belt play. But it really was a series that you've got to take seriously, because no matter what, baseball is a tough game to play. Any game, any given game, they can come in and win. But definitely exploded in game 2, man. We're finally off the home run schneid.
Yeah.
Julian Galassi broke the home run stride, and we saw it a couple weeks ago where we thought that he had the first one. To end the game, but man, I texted him after the game, and he had a grand slam to open the inning, had another sac fly to have 5 RBIs on the day, and then Hunter Miller, or was it Hunter Miller? Who hit a home run. And then I got a note from Coach Faulkner. Brian Meyer reached base in 10 consecutive at bats.
Wow.
I don't know. That's stemming from the end of game 1, all of game 2, and into game 3. So I don't know if that's some kind of record. I'm going to probably need
guys, you would think so.
I need some help on that one. But yeah, man, that was
that's insane. That's crazy.
So JJ pulling up that game by game for us.
And by the way, we should mention Julian Galassi didn't hit 1 but 2 homers in the 2 games yesterday, correct?
He hit 1 in each game, like Devin yesterday. Yeah. So, Julian hit 2 homers on the entire day, but 1 in each game.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And Hunter Miller had 1, and ADS, Aiden Driscoll-Sadusky, had 1 as well. So that was it's good to get off. That was getting a little weary there, because we've all said it. We don't have that
power back,
that 3-run homer power to hop on and crank a couple homers to put us back in the game. A bloop and a blast. We don't have that power. But good to see Julian get it. He's really worked hard, and during the Stoll dinner, even Coach Faulkner said, I'm going to miss this guy because he's got some some walk-off magic that he has out of his hat, man. He's 2 big walk-offs this season, and he's just continuing to shine in his senior year. So looking forward to celebrating him and the other 11 seniors this weekend in Hardyville. So
Yeah, it'll be a fun
Yeah.
weekend ahead as we come back home to face Flagler. A lot of seniors over the years, have gone through here, but this is a big class, and this class has been a mainstay with Ted Faulkner, and
yeah, a lot of these guys, like Brian's in his 5th year
Right.
after starting somewhere else, but a 4-year letter winner here. Julian transferred in.
Right.
John Leland, Cam Demigian, he's graduating as well. Tucker Dove, Jack Wood, a lot of these guys, a lot of them who you haven't seen because of injury. We're still trying to beat that injury bug is tough, man. But Tucker Check, man, a lot of these guys are just, they've been, staples, a part of this team for 4 years. And that's the beauty of it. Again, you look at that number of 4-year letter winners and how many players you're graduating out of the program. And that's something that the NCAA looks at, and that's something that we look at. Our student assistant, Abby Hungsinger, was there working on some pictures, and then she surprised us with a little 40-second video of the Stoll dinner. So encourage those to head over to Instagram and check it out. It's right there. It's a great video. Just shows like the emotion and the happiness for these seniors. So just another great thing, and Abby has done a great job for us. We'll continue to give her praise every single chance we get. But yeah, like we said, we've got a tough weekend ahead of us with Flagler. No game is guaranteed, not even the games against Claflin. I'm glad we took all 3. Now you just got to go in on Friday and take game 1, and then you focus on game 2. Don't look ahead to anything else. I can say that I know Demigian's been moved up to Friday. He's going to be our Friday night guy to start now. And then Brandon Martin, man, he pitched his butt off through a complete game shutout there in the 20-0 victory.
Very nice.
So slowly but surely get everything ready. And it looks like our producers got that little video ready for us. Yeah, I mean, this is something special.
Well done.
Yeah, I mean those and so something cool that we do is when you graduate, you get your stole, but if you're a 4-year letter winner, you get a framed jersey. And that's just a really cool memento. I'm going to throw my buddy under the bus, Dan Huff, who is the acting head coach for women's soccer. Coach Harris, Terica Harris, recognized Marcella Sartuni for being a dual sport athlete. She's competing in track and field right now. And so she recognized her. So she came up and gave her a hug and all that kind of stuff. And then inadvertently that kind of put Dan out of whack. And Dan, for a slight second, forgot to mention Marcella, who was recruited to play soccer. And so he goes down the list and pulls up, and Aaliyah's there, and he reads off Lee's accomplishments and so on and so forth. And then all of us are like, wait a second, what about Marcella? And so that was one little thing. But also shout out to the bank, Amelia Trevino, who has been our connection over there, Dan's girlfriend. And the bank is an absolutely amazing place to be. It was the first time I ever went there.
Fantastic. Yeah.
We'll be out there on Tuesday for our athletics banquet. And it's going to be great to have all 150 plus athletes out there to support. So again, shout out Abby for that great video, and I can't wait to see what you've got in store for this next one. So hopefully the weather holds out. The weather kind of hit us hard there and soaked our backdrop, so that was a little bit on the fly. But yeah, let's transition over to the track and field, man. They had a good weekend over at South Carolina State up in Orangeburg, and still waiting on stats for those. But Abby was up there again, and they competed strong, got some really good pictures. I believe Zach Marco hit a PR in the not the shot put, the pole vault. So everybody just had a really good day all afternoon, and it was the first ever event held at South Carolina State with this title. So it was the inaugural Sharonda Coleman Singleton Classic, I believe. So cool. Congratulations to track and field. They'll start getting ready for conference now, and hoping to make a splash. You got some individual ones who have been competing at the top half of the conference. Michael Martello and the hammer and the discus and the shot put, and then Cam Edwards in the jumps. So look forward to seeing where these guys end up as we're getting closer to the end of the season. I still can't believe it's, we're in the middle of April and we're talking about the end of the year. It's crazy. But you can't leave out our golf team. Our golf team, man, those guys and girls are getting ready. They're going to have a couple practice rounds here. Then they head up north to Augusta, where it's I heard that the fairways and the tee boxes and everything's in perfect shape.
Nice.
The greens are a little rough. It is not Augusta National they're playing at. That's too bad though. That would be
something.
I mean, the Peach
How
Belt's
about that performance today by Mr. Scheffler though, Max? We mentioned in the broadcast.
Oh yeah,
I kind of called it on the lowdown. So
yeah, you did.
Although many people, he was the favorite. But let's go back to USCB golf.
Yeah, we can talk about that one later. But I mean, we got to convince the Peach Belt to kind of work with Augusta National. I mean, I think that'd be, get some college kids going on Augusta National. That'd be something epic. I mean, hey, you're right down the road. I don't see why not, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can always try out and make it to the low amateur level and play at the Masters. I mean, we had a college kid from Ohio State today play at the low amateur and the Masters. So I mean, there's always a chance you can do that. So there's always a chance there. So they do allow some of the top college players to play in the Masters. But that would be a cool opportunity to have the Peach Belt find a way to work with Augusta National. But I have a feeling that's never going to happen. But you never know.
Probably not, but it's wishful thinking. But I mean, I expect to see big things. Definitely on the women's side, I think that tournament, the last tournament they played in, where McLean Neal tied for third, I really look for her to have a good week. They're going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you get 3 18s in your 54-hole tournament. You're not playing 36 in one day. So I think it's going to be great to see them go out there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the guys are going to start first on Friday and Sunday, and the girls will start first on Saturday, and they'll rotate out through. But I mean, I look for both Ellis Bright and Nico Holm to have good days. And it's going to be fun. I think Jess Edwards is coming off her best round ever with a 71 in her last tournament. Yeah. So, I mean, I think they're ready. I think, Coach Cottrell is really getting them prepared. And, while you can play Oldfield 1,000 times, it's still a difficult course and a good prep course, I would think, for wherever it is. So from what I was told is that the greens are a little bit sandy, but there's patches of grass where the holes are going to be. So, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. That's just coming from what I was told. Don't know hopefully they're fixed a little bit. You'd like to see some fresh greens there, but
Yeah.
you just play the course the way it is and you just go with it. So, like I said, McLean Neal, Ashley Mead, and Jess Edwards, I think, are going to be the trio that you look at to score well for USCB, and I think Katerina Tieves, and I believe it's going to be Manon. She's French, and I can't say her last name. I don't know. We call her Manon because it's spelled Manon, but it's Manon. I think that's going to be the 5, or no, and Jennifer Larson. Kat won't be there, so Kat Tieves will not. I believe, and I'm not sure of the 5 for the guys, but I know Nico Ellis. I believe Aaron Williams will be there as well. And I'm assuming that it's going to be Eric Nord and might be Tyler Quayle.
Yeah.
Or something that Jan Surik. So it's there's a lot of guys. You got to remember 150 athletes. So
right.
Yeah, right. You look going into this conference tournament, both teams have had great seasons so far. So, I actually would love to see, them have a potential chance of going after possibly a conference title as well. I mean, we have the players to do it, I think, and they've had great seasons so far. I think they could be in the running for it. So I'm excited to see how the conference tournament for both men's and women's team goes. I do think both are capable of potentially grabbing a conference title. So I would love to see how this conference tournament goes for both sides.
Yeah. And they're right on the.
It looks like all roads run through North Georgia for the golf tournaments. So they've been playing really well these last few tournaments. So yeah, let's give our final shout outs before we take it home. I'm going to start first, and mine's a little bit different. I'm going to shout out our golf coach, Corey Cottrell, and give him congratulations on his engagement. We saw that today. So congratulations, Corey. It looked like the pup wasn't too thrilled about it, but again, congratulations, bud. So we'll give you a big hug tomorrow in the office. So that's my shout out, and then slash I'm gonna steal this one so you guys can't take it. The trio of seniors, all 3 of them have been terrific to be around all season long, and they've been great for this department. I got to start working with them last year and got to really get to know them very well last year at the tournament in Williamsburg at the University of the Cumberlands. So they're great kids. I'm excited to see what they do. Devin's going to go on and be a teacher, and I'm not 100% sure what JC and Z are going to go off and do, but it's going to be great. And they're terrific people. They're great athletes, but better people. So that's our goal, and then I will let into you guys.
Yeah, well, you took my first one, but luckily I have Sierra Kinlaw on the board, and she was absolutely dominant, especially today, and losing effort, 11 strikeouts. I mean, absolutely in the zone. She was hitting her spots and just dealing out there. And strikeout after strikeout. She has become an even better arm than what we saw a year ago. And it's just incredible to watch her take over this spotlight as the ace of this staff. And certainly she was going to the year, but it's just been to another level in 2024. And just to think that she's coming back to anchor this pitching staff for a team coming back with a ton of experience. Obviously, those 3 seniors will be big losses, but we ran off some of those names at the end of the broadcast of players returning, including Addie Reynolds at catcher, and just so many others. And I think it really all starts with Kinlaw and her performance out there in the circle, and just the yeoman's work she did in that first game to help preserve the opportunity for the Sand Sharks to come back and win it after she gave up that 5 spot just one earned run the rest of the way, and just continue to produce in the clutch. I mean, there were some times late in that game where Columbus State got some base runners on, and Kinlaw was able to shut it down, and that ended up helping USCB come back. Because if not for Kinlaw, it may have been too big of a deficit to overcome. So, major props to her, and then coming back today and putting on an absolute gem. So, congratulations on another terrific weekend. I mean, following up a series on the road where she allowed just one run in 15 innings. So, a dominant form to close out the year for Sierra Kinlaw.
Well, you both took the two that I was going to go with, so I got to go with Plan C, I guess. Give me both Brian Meyer and Julian Galassi in their series against Claflin this past weekend. What a performance USCB put on, and a performance that they needed to put on. They needed to sweep Claflin. And obviously, like we've said, baseball is not an easy sport to play, so getting a sweep is one of the best things you can possibly enjoy and have fun with. Julian Galassi had a homer in each game yesterday. Brian Meyer, like you said, we believe went 10 at bats without either striking out, popping out, flying out, 10 straight at bats of getting on base. So, and incredibly impressive for both, Julian Galassi and Brian Meyer. And then, we talked about softball, but I want to say, these three seniors in my first season of doing this with you guys, I've been extremely impressed with all three. I didn't get to see much of Zanaya Hamilton this year, but I would have loved to see how brilliant of a player she can be. But Devin Weller and JC Cullen, what great seasons both of them have had, and I've had an absolute blast getting to commentate on their games and stuff like that. And the future's bright for USCB softball. You're only losing three seniors. Most of your team is coming back next season, and that is a big deal, and shows that the future is extremely bright for USCB softball. But as to my two guys, hats off to Brian Meyer and Julian Galassi on and the rest of the USCB baseball program on what was a great series sweep against Claflin.
Yeah, just important days ahead for them. So we will look forward to seeing it again this weekend. Softball hosts their final home game of the year on Wednesday against Coker College. The Cobras. Anytime I think of the Cobras, I think of dodgeball. That's my the Globo Gym Purple Cobras. But and then baseball welcomes the Saints of Flagler to Hardyville. So home games, it's going to be exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So these last couple of games, golf's on the road at the Peach Belt Conference. So it's going to be a big day, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of this week. And softball will head off to the weekend to Milledgeville. So 2 colleges right up there in Milledgeville, Georgia College and, Middle Georgia. So very interesting that they're right there. And then they'll be within walking distance of each other, I'm assuming, when Middle Georgia.
Yeah, nice little close proximity rivalry. That would be a ton. That's a rivalry built in right there. I mean, they're destined to become rivalry.
Yeah. We got to figure out who our closest one is. I guess SCAD is
Aiken makes sense as a natural rival because they're in the USC family. But
there's not another D2 school that's right down the road. So
no, not really.
No other schools, but that's a conversation before we get down the rabbit hole. So, all right, want to appreciate you guys for hopping on with us tonight. For Max Arraj, Wes Kerr, I'm Brackin Lambert. We will see you guys next week for what might be the final episode of. No, we got another week after that. So sorry, my brain's not all there yet. So we will see you guys next week for another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. I'm Brackin Lambert. See you guys next time. Make sure you keep them fins up.